Welcome all participants. Meeting will be started in another 7 minutes. Please be hold on. Welcome all participants. Meeting will be started in exactly at 6 p.m. You can invite your friends. Dear participants, you can share this YouTube link in your WhatsApp groups and you can invite your friends. We are going to see the basics of Python from today onwards. It's 8 days program. It will be started in another 7 to 8 minutes. Madam, let us start, madam. Dear all participants, please share YouTube link in your WhatsApp groups and invite your friends also. We're going to start in few seconds.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the International Python Bootcamp organized by SRM in collaboration with Indian servers. We are thrilled as in spite of this tough time, many of you have tuned in to attend this bootcamp. We had about 6,000 plus registrations from around 8 different countries. We hope you'll find this session helpful for your future. We are looking forward for your active participation in the course of time. I extend a warm welcome to our dean, Dr. Murli Krishna sir, and our HOD, Dr. K. Raja sir, and our director, and would like to thank them for their immense support in making this event possible. I would also like to acknowledge the tremendous effort put by our coordinator, Ms. Satya ma'am. I take the pleasure to invite our speakers, Mr. Sai Satish sir and Satyabharat Damraju sir. Mr. Sai Satish sir is the CEO and founder of Indian Servers. He is a CyberCorps trainer, TEDx speaker, a renewed ethical hacker, and a cybersecurity expert. His lectures delivered at IITs, IIMs, and many other engineering colleges have benefited thousands of students. He is also the administrator of Andhra Hackers, the top hacking awareness forum in India. Mr. Satyabharat Damraju sir is a fellow chartered accountant and chartered financial analyst. He has 11 years of post-qualification experience and currently working with Synergy Pharma Dubai as Group Finance Manager. He has secured All India rank of 44th and 62nd in ICWA inter and final exams respectively. We are glad to have you both here, sir. Hoping that you guys are looking forward for the session to start, I would like to hand over the session to Sai Satish, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, all the participants, respected faculty and students and employees, IT employees who are participating in this program. So very happy to associate with SRM IST Campus Ramapuram. And probably this is, I think, a fourth event with this university. Very happy to associate with you, madam. Thank you very much. Yep. Today, we are going to see the basics of programming language and Python. 8 days, we are going to see different kind of concepts. Our team members are ready. Our team members are Mr. Bharat, Vishwanath, Abhigna, and Manogna. 8 days, we are going to engage with the different kind of examples and how to use Python. Let me tell you why we have to learn Python. Today, if you see the registration statistics, around 10%, we have around 6,000 plus participants, 10 plus percentage, not even 10 plus percentage are from mechanical background and 20 plus percentage are from ECE background, 50 plus percentage from CSE background. So if you take Python, if you learn Python, not only one category, you can deal with data science, you can deal with IoT, you can do web application development, you can do desktop based applications, you can do plenty of things. One programming language, multiple categories. So that's one of the beneficiary if you learn Python. So it's one of the booming concepts. Most of us are aiming to learn AI, right? Data science, deep learning. So this programming language will help you to achieve the projects, whatever you want to do. Look, once you learn this particular concept, 8 days completely basic part, completely basics, like what we are going to see in these 8 days. Today we are going to start with basics. I know around 60% of the people are from even non-programming background. I'm not just saying programming or computer science background. They are from non-programming background. Most of the people even don't know what is the word called keyword. They have not experienced other programming languages. So we are starting with very, very basics. Are you getting my point? Very, very basics. So you'll enjoy the session. 8 days, 4 different kind of trainers will be there. You'll enjoy the session for sure. This is not Bahubali movie. Point number 1. This is not Bahubali movie. Just seeing the video and leaving will not fetch you anything. Practice is the most important thing in any programming language. Practice, practice, practice. I'm a C# developer. I have developed plenty of applications. I was a Microsoft student partner. When I was a student itself, I have developed plenty of .NET applications. If you heard the word called Process Explorer, I have developed similar application with the help of C#. In C# programming language, I have developed. Seriously, I love C#. It's very, very simple. After seeing Python, I can feel it's more simplified one than other programming language. You can see most of you already received this bootcamp ID card, right? That was developed in ASP.NET. In background, it is C# only. So even you can use Python also. But there are some limitations for various programming languages like C#. Most of the APIs do support Python. So we are forced to learn Python. Being I'm in this field from past 13 years. We are forced to learn Python. So it's very, very important. Today we are going to start with very, very basics. So we have one of our team members, Mr. Vishwanath. He's going to give you the basics initially, how this theory stuff he's going to tell you. When this Python got started, who started this one, who developed this programming language, and what are the sectors you can concentrate on. Then after we are going to jump into the practical part. Generally, I don't like theory. I love practicals a lot. So today, I can notice some almost 1300 participants are lively watching this video. So we directly jump into programming part. Every day, some small assignments will be there. Small assignments. Just concentrate for 8 days. You'll learn very good programming language called Python. Okay. So Mr. Vishwanath, over to you. Yeah, Saideep,
Yes,
you can stop sharing your screen. Vishwanath, you can start sharing your screen, Vishwanath.
Okay,
And
sir.
just give the introduction to Python, then I'll take over. 20 minutes time for you.
Okay, sir. Thank you. So my voice is okay, sir?
Yes, you're audible.
Yes, sir. Thank you. So let me share the screen. Okay, so hello everyone. Thank you for joining this bootcamp. So my name is Vishwanath Hemant. I'm one of the machine learning team leaders at Indian Servers. So in the starting, we'll just start off with a little bit theory. I'll go from very basics. Okay. All right. So just like Satish sir said, Python is everywhere. So before even Python, so we have computers, right? They are everywhere. Like everywhere you look around, you see computer. Computer in the sense, not just your desktop or laptop, even your your pocket calculator or an ATM machine. You draw your money from your mobile phone itself. Okay, and even bigger things like huge industrial robots, etc. They're all computers. They're doing wonderful works for us. Okay, so how are they doing all this? Obviously, we are making them do that, but how do we make them do that? How can you make them do all those things? So if you want to make a person do certain job for you, you communicate with them with something called a language. Everybody has a language, right? Everybody uses a language to communicate with each other. But same in the in a similar case, if you want to communicate with a computer, you have something called a programming language. Just like Satish sir said, like he's a developer in C#. Like there are different languages, human language. Just like that, we have different programming languages. Okay, so what is Python? So right now, Python is one of the top programming languages, which is used like every single scenario. Like big companies like Google, Tesla, YouTube, like everybody is using it, even Facebook. Okay, so it's one of the top programming languages. So when did this all start from? Like Satish sir told me like go by a little bit theory. So I'm going by that. So when did this all start from? So it all started back in like 1980s by a man called Guido van Rossum. So in 1980s, this all started. So it's not a relatively new language. It has been like for many years. Right now, it came into boom and it got enhanced, etc. Yeah. So initially, it was released in 1991, even though it was like started in late 1980s. And in 2000, we got a major upgrade, for Python called Python 2. But Python 2 is also not the latest one. In 2006, the Python 2 died. I mean, like discontinued. From in Python 3, something called Python 3 got released in 2008. Okay, but right now we have something called Python 3.9. I'm not sure it's Python 3.9 anymore. It's I feel like it's updating like every 2 days or so. So how does this Python work? Okay, so we know that. So okay, there's a programming language called Python. Okay, fine. We use it to do make our machines do all the things for us. So how does this work? I mean, we have to know like how does it work, right? To get some use out of it. So yeah, we write code. Okay, I'm sure like everybody knows this. We write code to make our computer do things, but we also kind of know that a computer only understands binary language, which is zeros and ones. I'm pretty sure like you've watched so many movies like they show this stuff like zeros and ones moving around like when a scene with hackers or something comes by. So we all know that like computers only understand these kind of language. So how does this code get converted into that code, like a binary code? So there is something called a compiler. Okay, so compiler is also a software, just like your operating system, like Windows. Compiler is also a software which converts the your code into binary code. So most of the languages use a compiler, but in modern days, languages are using something called an interpreter. Okay, so compiler interpreter, they both do the same thing. They convert your code into machine understandable code. So what is the difference between them? So only difference is that a compiler does it all at once. Okay, it takes all of your code and converts it all at once. Okay, so what does an interpreter do? An interpreter does it line by line. Let's say you have 100 lines of code. It does it step by step instead of like converting everything all at once and executing all at once. So it has certain advantages and disadvantages. They both have their pros and cons. Like a compiler has faster execution because it's already compiled and you can run it easily. But an interpreter has easier debugging, like debugging in the sense corrections to your code, modifications, etc., etc. Okay, you can in the sense you can code it better. So Python basically uses an interpreter. It doesn't use a compiler. Like every modern day language use interpreter only. One second. So what does what makes Python special? So anything if for any product or thing to make it special, what makes it stand out is its features, right? And Python sure has a lot of them. So let me tell you four features, like because I want to keep this short. Let me tell you four features which I feel are very important, for you to make you get into Python coding, to make Python interesting for you, even if you are not from a computer background. Okay, so is the first one is Python is simple. So okay, like everybody's telling Python is simple, but how simple is it? Let me tell you. So if you want to, let's take a basic operation that you want to store a sentence, a sentence in English language. If you want to store a sentence to your computer's memory and then display it on your screen, let's take this small task. If you take a language like C language, okay, one second. Yeah. So if you take a language like C language, the code looks something like this. Okay. This is a, smallest possible code to store a sentence and then display it on your screen. Okay. In a similar way, let's take another language called Java, which is also one of the popular languages. The code looks like something like this. Okay. You can see that like, it's kind of confusing if you're not from a computer background, but don't worry, because the same thing, if you want to do it in Python, the code looks something like this. Python, I feel like it's almost very similar to our English language. Okay. So it's getting even simpler. So now you understand how simple Python is. Now you won't have any fear if you want to like start Python coding also. Well, and then just like I told, it is interpreted Python. So interpretation, okay, I told you that modern day languages are using interpreters, is better than compilation. Why? Because you can track the flow of the code better with interpreter. Okay. So one of the difficulties with coding is like all the errors and all, like you don't know where the error came from, and it gets pretty confusing. But with Python, you can easily pinpoint where the error is and correct it easily, which overall improves your coding experience, and it's just more hassle free. Okay. So yeah, another feature is its vast libraries. So what is this library? uh, Library is not computerized term. Let me tell you, a library is just a bunch of tools. Okay. Python has different types of libraries, which by the way, you're going to learn a lot in the upcoming sessions. So to give you a little overview, so what does these libraries contain is, it contains something called classes, methods, and modules. So if you're not from a computer background, like, don't worry about it. Don't try to wrap your head too much around it. Just relax. So let me explain you it clearly. For example, if take a mechanic, so what does his library contain? A library for a mechanic is his toolkit. Okay, it has all these screwdrivers, hammers, nails, etc. So that is his library. If you take an electrician, his library is his his amp meter, his wire strippers, another screwdrivers, tape, duct tape, etc., etc. That is his library. Now kind of understand, like, a library is like essentially a bunch of tools combined together, related tools combined together, which helps us to make our work easier. Okay. And why am I explicitly telling this is because Python has one of the vast and one of the most versatile libraries out of all languages. Very powerful libraries. Okay. And another reason is Python's huge community. So why am I focusing more on community rather than like actual features of the language is because a community is what I feel like community is what makes any experience, coding experience, or any work experience very fun. So if you run into any problems, there is a high chance that some other person would also have run into a similar problem in the past. Okay. With communities like Stack Overflow, Reddit, Python has one of the biggest communities. So even if you run into any problems, you can easily overcome them through these communities. So your coding experience will not become very what should I say, it will not be a big headache for you. It becomes easy. So I think these features might what should I say, interest you to get into Python coding. So now let's talk a little bit about IDEs. So what are these IDEs? So IDE, for abbreviation, or for definition, is integrated development environment. Okay. So what are these integrated development environments? So you have to write your code, right? So for writing your code, you can just use something called Notepad. I'm sure like many of you are familiar with a software called Notepad, which is basically a text editor. So instead of just simple text editors, so what these IDEs help you, give you is they give you environments, softwares where you can type your code. It just makes it easier for you. Like, it has something called, uh, they have features like visually rich text editors. Like what I mean by visually rich text editors is like, what should I say? If you're typing a function, it gives you little suggestions, right in your code itself. It just makes your coding experience easier. Okay. So it has also features like code completions, and you can run and debug your code there itself, instead of previously you would have do like type your code at one place in a text editor and then run it in another place. Okay. Without all that hassle, an IDE gives you everything in the same interface only. Okay. It has all the features like that. So one of the best IDs, if not the best, is PyCharm. So let me tell you a little bit about PyCharm. Let me go to my tab and go to PyCharm. So what does this PyCharm give you is, it is also one of the IDE. You can download it here. Just go to jetbrains.com/PyCharm. Okay, or just Google PyCharm. That's it. So you can download it here. So there are two different editions. Community edition is free, so I prefer downloading community for beginners. So download that community edition. So let me show you what is all this IDE is about. So right now, if you can see here, this is called an IDE. This is the PyCharm IDE. So right here, I have a small project opened. So this is just a sample, a very small project about a ATM maintenance. Okay. So through this, this is helpful to, this can serve as a code for, ATM machine to work properly. Okay. So let me actually, okay, let me tell you all the features that you have. So by visually rich text, this is what I'm telling. So right now you can see like different colors are there. Like this one import word has orange color, this has white color, and this one is just a violet color. Okay. Different, colors are there to indicate you that these are, keywords. Okay. If you don't know what's the keyword, it's okay. Okay. It just indicates you what are different types of words or, phrases, sentences are. It just makes your coding experience like, very easy. Okay, with normal text editor, you won't have all this. So right now I can just run my code here itself. If you can see right here, so I can run debug and do all the things. Okay. So let me actually, I just forgot. Let me actually tell you how to download and install Python to your computer, because that's one of the important things, right? So to download and install Python, just go to python.org. This is very simple and easy, guys. So just go to python.org. So go to downloads. If you go to downloads here, you can directly see which is the latest and the best possible Python version for your system. If you are using Mac, you will get your own Python package. If you're using Windows, right now I'm using Windows, so I'm getting download for Windows. Okay, you can just click this button and it will get downloaded. A file will be downloaded. Just open that file and how to install any software, right? Just click next. That's it. So it's very simple and easy. It hardly takes like 5 minutes. I suggest you, everybody who's watching this to download and install Python to your computers. Okay. Yeah. So this is what an IDE is. So don't try to wrap your head too much around this. Just go with the flow. Like if you don't understand anything at this point, please don't panic. Okay, we're still going slow. We still haven't gotten into coding. So yeah, another thing I wanted to tell you is about IPython notebooks. So or simply Jupyter notebooks. So what is this Jupyter notebook? So I gave you a little introduction to IDEs, but there is something even better than IDEs. So they are called Jupyter notebooks. So what is this Jupyter notebook? Jupyter is an open source web app for Python development. Okay, it's an open source web app for Python development. So what does this Jupyter contain? This Jupyter notebooks or IPython notebooks or IPYNB, they contain something called live code, okay, which I'll explain in a little bit. Even better comments. So if you don't know any programming language, you probably won't understand what comments are, but don't worry about that. Visualizations, graphics, and multimedia support. Right now, you see here, this is a IDE. These are called comments. Okay, don't worry about what comments are. These are just like indications to other programmers or to yourself of what a particular line of code does. Okay, it's basically explanation of your code in your code itself. Okay, to be precise and simple terms, it's just an explanation of code in the code itself. So, and and Jupyter Notebook has even better comments. Right now you just see plain text here, but with Jupyter Notebooks you can see visualizations, you can have graphics, okay, you can have graphs, okay, you can have videos, images, okay, etc, etc. Okay, and multimedia support. Yeah, so it is even better than IDEs. So what all these collectively make is they make your experience with code sharing, resharing, reusing, and reworking much easier. Okay, so let me give you a little I'm going into another theory here. Don't get bored, guys. uh, so let me give you a little theory about how this how this magic works exactly. So it basically contains two parts, guys. So an IPython notebook or a Jupyter notebook has two parts: a server and an interface. Okay, so what is this interface? So this interface is something which opens up as a web app or a tab in your browser. Okay, so and what is this server? This server is your machine or another machine or computer that is connected to your computer through internet. Okay, so how does writing your code work in this environment? So through your web app, you type your code into the interface, and the interface sends it to the server. Okay, and the server executes the code and sends back the output to interface. And obviously you can see the output through your web app, which you can see as a computer on your computer, right? So pretty basic stuff. So this is what a in a I mean an IPython notebook or a Jupyter notebook looks like. A typical Jupyter notebook what looks like. So yeah, right here, if you can see my mouse pointer, you can see here it says localhost. So which basically means this that this IPython notebook or Jupyter notebook runs on the same machine itself. So there is another thing called Google Colab. Let me show you Google Colab. Yeah. So this is what a Google Colab is. And I want you to learn more and focus on Google Colab, guys, because Google Colab is basically an IPython notebook only. Just go to colab.research.google.com. You can have a notebook, an IPython notebook for yourself. So what does this Google Colab give you is, first it gives you an interface as a Chrome tab or whatever browser you're using, that tab, and it also gives you server, and that server is not your local machine, which means that every code you write, all the code you write doesn't run on your computer. Instead, Google gives you some resources, like for example, it gives you 12 GB of RAM and let me show here. Yeah, it gives you 12 GB, 13 GB of RAM and 108 GB of storage. Okay, it gives you this particular instance in Google servers, and you can run and write your code wherever you want. So what does it matter to you? Let me tell you what this beauty can do is, with any computer, you can have a 10-year-old computer which has, I don't know, Pentium or core to duo processor. Okay, basically 10 years old. You just need to have one Chrome browser or any browser, you can even do a complex, very complex machine learning algorithms. You can run those algorithms on your computer. Okay, you can even run those on your mobile also. So that is the beauty that Google Colab gives you. So yeah, I think if I didn't took much time, so that should explain you a little bit about explain and get you interested a little bit into Python coding. Satish sir.
Very good, Hemant. Now I'll take her over.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, very good, Hemant. So dear participants, now we are going to see simple programs in Python. Okay, today's first target is to create simple calculators. Okay, I'll show you how to make simple calculations. You have to do simple calculator. Okay, I'll show you on few arithmetic operators. New word, right? Arithmetic operators. What do you mean by operator? And how to code? No issues. I understood. Even 10th standard students also joined in this program. So around 1500 live participants are watching this video. I understood around 60 to 70 people don't have any programming knowledge. So we'll start with very, very basics. Okay. First thing, open a website called Colab. Okay. You can make a note of it. Please make a note of this website name. Just go ahead, colab.research.google.com. Here it is. First thing, we have to understand few words. The first word is variable. Let me share my, let me increase the font here. The first thing is variable. What is variable? For example, let me take variable A. A equal to 10. Here A is variable, which is referring the value of 10. Now, what is the value of A? It is 10. Here A is called as variable. Let me go ahead with other one. B equal to 35. Now what is B here? B is a variable which is referring to the value 35. Now, few important things you have to know. One is print. The other one is input. These two are functions to interact with the humans. Okay, humans in the sense you can print something on the screen. You can take input from the human. Don't say animals or something else. Humans in the sense for taking some input from any source you can take input from files also, you can take input from network streams also, you can take input from humans also. Okay, just for namesake I'm saying from humans. So what is this A here? It is a variable which is referring to the value 10. Here B is 35. I'm just taking like this. Let us see. In other programming languages, if you're from Java or C# or from any other programming languages, initially you cannot have the value like this, A equal to something. You cannot mention like this, right? Do you remember? You have to mention int A equal to something, but this is not like this in Python. Directly you can mention the variable name and the value. Now, if you print the type of, just let us see, the type of A. Let us see what it's going to print. It is showing the class int. See, I'm using English words here. English words. It is called as string. Your English words can be considered as string. For example, if I ask you what is your name, what will you say? You'll say your name, right? Your name is a string. If I ask what is your age, you'll say one number. That number is called as int. Yeah, please remember these words. One is integer, int. If I ask you what's your age, you'll say some number. So numbers comes under integer. If I ask which class are you studying or what are you studying, you may say CSE Department or you may say BTech second year. You will say something, right? That is called as string. String. Now, in these numbers, again, another kind of numbers are there. For example, if I ask you what is your height, you may not say 5 feet or 6 feet. You will say 5.4 feet, right? Here you can notice 5.4. Some decimal is there, right? They are called as float. See here, if I mention 9.5, now if I type print of type of A, see it is showing float. So how to define strings? Just use double quotes or single quotes. In double quotes, I'm mentioning Indian servers. See here, if I mention type, it's going to show it as string, str, string. So small assignment for you. Just play with this. Just get the type. This is the first assignment. Second one. This is Colab. Just go to this URL colab.research.google.com. You can find, just click create new Colab. Now, let me go ahead with new cell. This is one. And now the second part. Now I want to add two numbers. Let us take A equal to 10, B equal to 20. Now I want to add these two and I want to print. I want to display the result. How to display the result? There is a function called print. Of course, you can have many parameters to this. Don't worry if you don't know what is parameter, just forget about it. Now what I'm going to mention here is I'm going to add A and B and I'm going to store in C value. C is another variable, A plus B. Some people are wondering where is semicolon. I have seen many memes saying that I missed one semicolon and I'm unable to, whole night I spent without some different kind of memes, you know. Here in Python, you don't need to enter, you don't need to use semicolon to mention that line is terminated. Okay, at the end of the line of the code, you no need to mention semicolon. Now, if you type C, hit Control Enter. Otherwise, you can just click on this Run button. It is showing the value. These two programs are very simple, right? Are able to do it? Yeah, you can take the screenshots. Whenever you want to scroll back, just scroll back, take the screenshot and make a note of it. Okay. Now, let us take these two values from user. How to take these values from user? One important function you can use called input. You can use this function. Yep, let me show you that as a third example. Let me go ahead and create new code. Now, A equal to, what is A here? Some variable name. What it is going to do? It is going to refer some value. That value could be an integer, float, or string. These are not only the data types. Yes, new word called data types. Remember this. New word called data types. Different kind of data types are there. So in coming days, we are going to see most of the data types. Today, we'll see mainly three: integer, float, string. We're not going to discuss about other data types like tuples or list or other things, dictionary. We're not going to touch. Let's make it very simple and straightforward. Today, our main agenda is to create simple calculator. Simple calculator. I'm performing some calculations here, right? You have to do some calculator part. Yes. Let us take the value of A from user. How to take? Remember the function called input. Just mention like this. Now, what your interpreter will do? Interpreter will wait for the input from the user. So A equal to input of, B equal to also input of. Now I'm going to add these two. C equal to A plus B. Finally, let me print C. Control Enter or just run this. Let me type 33, some random numbers. See here, some error. Can you notice the spelling mistake here? Here we have to use input. Remember, Python is case sensitive. Case sensitive in the sense, if you just type capital I here, it is going to show some error. So we have to use as it is. So now I'm hitting Control Enter. Let us see. Yes, let me type some random number, 35, and second number, 88. Finally, if you notice something here, observe the things. If you add these two, it should give some numerical value, but it is showing 35, 88. Can you notice the result here? Observe the result here. It is showing 35 and 88, but this is not the actual result. If you take input, it takes as a string. Remember this word, it takes as a string. Now you have to convert this string to integer value or to float value. How to convert? You can use a simple method like this. This is called as typecasting or type conversion. Input of A plus input of B. Sorry, int of B. Now Control Enter. Let us see the value now. 77 and some other number. Now can you see the difference? Before typecasting, it is just concatenating. Okay, forget about what is concatenating. It is just placing the first number and the second number. It is not doing any kind of operations. But when you typecast this one, typecast or type conversion, both are same here. So we're just changing from string to integer and adding them. Okay. Now a small task for you. The task is you have to take PNR, principal, total time, how much duration it is, and the interest value. Then you have to calculate the interest, total amount of interest you have to calculate, PNR. That's your second assignment. Are you getting my point? The first one is just check with these what is type value, what is type, how it works. Second assignment, take some input from the user, principal, rate of interest, and total number of months, and calculate the result, PNR. Don't ask me PNR formula, that's fourth class or third class formula. So you can search what is PNR, then come up with this result. Now, last one. I know it's just 45 minutes. I don't want to take much time of yours because assignments are going on. How to submit assignments? Don't worry. I'll give some Google Sheet to you in the third day. Third day, I'll share some Google Sheet to you. In that Google Sheet, you can upload your assignments. Okay. Also, you can follow our Instagram page. You can go to Instagram/Indian Servers Ltd. Yeah, this is our Instagram page. Follow here. Some more assignments will be posted here. Okay. Yep. Coming back. So this is the second assignment. If PNR, very simple. Okay. The next one. Now, what are the arithmetic operations are there? What kind of operators are there? Here, plus is a kind of operator. This plus is considered as operator. Like this, there are different kind of operators are there. Today we'll release some operators list. Don't worry. The list of operators like arithmetic operators are there. And you can mention some assignment operators are there. And comparison operators will be there. Different kind of operators are there, like bitwise operators are also there. And logical operators are there, just to check whether it is right or wrong, true or false. Such type of different kind of operators are there. Around 7 operators are there for Python. And we'll post some image in our group today or tomorrow. We'll list all the operators. Same time, we have to list some keywords also. Two things we have to know. One is operator, the other one is keyword. What is keyword? Keywords are kind of reserved words which you should not use. For example, here I have used a. This is a variable name, right? You should not use a keyword for variable name. You should not use the reserved keyword for function names. So such type of such type of keywords are also there. You have to learn what are those keywords also. So we'll release the list of keywords. Around 30 keywords are there. That will be varied. For example, if you take 3.9, few keywords are there. If you go ahead with 2.0, some keywords are removed from that. So different kind of keywords will be there. So around, as of now, around 28 keywords are there. But when you're watching this video after 2 years or 3 years, maybe new keywords will be there, like async, and new keywords will be there. So keywords are kind of reserved words which you should not use for variable names, function names. Okay. So let me show you few arithmetic operators. Today we'll see arithmetic operators. Okay. Here plus sign is there, right? Same way, minus is also you can use hyphen. For division, you can use star. Sorry, for multiplication, you can use star. For division, you can use forward slash. Hope you know the difference between forward slash and backward slash. This is called as forward slash for division. And you can also use modulus. And power also you can use. You can also use this thing called exponential. And one more thing called floor division, slash slash. So these are some of the arithmetic operators you can try. So what is assignment operator? Assignment operator means here you can see equal to. Can you see here equal to? Whatever the value we are getting from this, that will be assigned to C. That is called as assignment operator. So two types of operators you heard till now. One is assignment operator, which is equal to. Remaining are arithmetic operators. Arithmetic operators are for performing some arithmetic operations. Okay, not only equal to, there are some more assignment operators out there. What they are? In future, we are going to see some of them. I don't want to confuse your brain with these things. As of now, equal to is enough for you. There are plenty of things out there like plus equal to and slash equal to. You can mention before star equal to. These things are there. Let's not confuse all these things as of now. Just take only equal to as of now as assignment operator. Okay, so that's all the basic today. Your target, the second assignment is PNR. Take the input and assign to the variable and perform some operations and print it. That's all. Tomorrow we are going to see how to play with strings. As well as we are going to see if condition, elif conditions, how to operate, how to use those conditions also. That will be for tomorrow. Today your target, just complete this basic assignments and just get ready with the screenshots. Day after tomorrow, we'll share one Google Sheet to you where you have to upload your assignments. Okay, so thank you for joining today's session. We are going to see tomorrow. Thank you. Bye all.